Hi, part-time time travelers. Jacob here from Woodward TV, and today we have a special presentation for you all. As many of you who watch this channel know, I love the Canadian reality kids competition series In Real Life. It aired in 2009, and basically what it is an amazing race that was made for children. Except they make them do some pretty crazy tasks, including alligator wrangling, and they rode bulls and everything that they could get away with in 2009. I've been covering this series on my channel. Links are in the description for the episodes I got so far. Hopefully I'm going to do all 3 seasons by the end of next year. I've done the first 5 episodes, though, of season 1. Check out those videos because you'll get a lot of context in this interview. But today I'm very honored to be speaking to a member of the first season of the show, which I haven't heard anything from season 1. No one's contacted me from the season until today. Mr. Jesse, the first contestant eliminated from the show. I am privileged to be talking to him for the next hour about the whole process of the show, the behind the scenes. And really, it's awesome because Jesse gets to take a trip back in time with me, because he was 13 years old when this show was filmed, and he's 29 now. He obviously, it's not his Roman Empire. He doesn't think about it every single day. But he got to re-explore it, and he said that even thinking about having this interview, he started to get memories he hasn't thought about in years. So it was a very special time, and Jesse, if you're listening, I had such a great time, and I hope you join me on this channel once again. All right, so let's get to it. Interview with Jesse from season 1 of In Real Life. Enjoy. Well, I am here with the Jesse from the first season of In Real Life. Jesse, you're doing well?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's we were just kind of talking before I started the recording that you just found my video somehow. It popped up.
And I thought, oh my God, that's me. And it's and you know, I said kind of, I forgot that it happened. Like, not that I forgot. I mean, obviously I remember, but it was 15 years ago that we filmed. So it's one of those things that if it's not sort of on my radar, I often forget it happened. I mean, I see, people on social media, so I'll see some of the other kids, and I guess no one's a kid anymore. Some of the kids have kids now because we're all in our late 20s. But yeah, no, it feels like a different lifetime ago. So it was just.
I was just gonna say that a total different life, even for me as a viewer, like it randomly popped up in my head, not like before I started making the videos. And I found it on YouTube, and it was like a whole nother me watching it. But it was like, this was something that I was really into when it aired. And it was like, wow, that's...
Yeah, I don't think I could watch it again. I mean, I still haven't seen the finale, and there's reasons for that. I actually have to ask because I don't know what I know what happened, but I don't know what they showed. And I, even just watching like the clips from your TikToks, like I cringed so hard looking at myself as a 13-year-old for episode 1, and then I was 14, I think, when we did episode 2 because there was a break. I saw the clip that, when you were introducing everybody, and it had sort of our little packages that were made of us introducing ourselves. And, so they basically sent out the camera crew everywhere, and there was a day that was the Barry day. They did Maddie, I think, in the afternoon. They did me in the evening, and it was my birthday. Oh. And we had, and my school was having like their annual summer fun fair, so that's where they came and filmed. So I got to have my friends got to come and like hang out, and like they filmed like me blowing up birthday candles, and it was very bizarre. It was, as a little kid who loved reality TV, it was the most exciting day, I think, probably of the whole thing. I can
only imagine.
But like, what was it? I'm sorry, I am a rambler. I don't know how I'm a good lawyer, I promise, but I do tend to ramble. Can you reel me back in a little?
Sure. Let's just get started with, I'm obsessed with reality TV as well.
Yes.
So I watch everything from RuPaul, Survivor, Big Brother, you name it. And so I've always been fascinated. Of course, I went to school for film, so the whole behind the scenes of it all. And I just want to know...
Yeah.
I heard of In Real Life casting for season 2 and 3 because I was signed up for the Apartment 11 newsletter because I was obsessed with Prank Patrol and YTV. How did you hear about casting for season 1?
I think it was on the YTV website, and I think it's because I really wanted to do. I used to sing, and I don't anymore. And I think I can say objectively, like I was good when I was younger, and I'm not now. And so I wanted to be on, was it called The Next Star? The one that Alyssa Reed, I think,
Yeah, that's
took off on.
the kind
And
of
so
the
I wanted
American
to be
Idol
on it,
one.
kind of, but it was like for kids, and there was like a whole like journey that they would go on and like teach them like how to, be stars. And so I really wanted to do that. And so I was on the website, and I wish I haven't, like, I watch RuPaul's Drag Race and I do watch some of the Housewives. I'm at the point now where, aside from Drag Race, I really just like kind of mindless reality TV.
Yeah.
So like I love a good Housewives. I'll watch the Kardashians because I want like that escapism. But at the time, like, I was super into Survivor. The Amazing Race was probably my favorite. I loved Big Brother. And so they were advertising that show, and it was Mystery Hunters, which honestly I think was the show I really wanted to be on. And I remember being like, you guys just bring me onto that. Like, so they had just kind of a posting on the like Be on TV page or whatever it was of the YTV site. And I don't remember the entirety of the process. Like, there was an application. I think there was like a phone call. I don't even know how big Skype was at the time. There probably was like a Skype component. And then they brought us down to somewhere near St. Andrew Station in Toronto. And that's where we actually got to meet with the producers. And I think the producers really liked me because I got the sense of that too. Like, even when we were doing our interviews, like while we were filming, like our confessionals, like I always had a great time with them. And I think they expected us to do better than we did. And I don't think they expected the drama that happened, although I think we made great reality television. And then we did the interviews, and then our parents were interviewed. So I remember my mom, after, like, years later, she was like, the parents, I think, knew what the challenges were going to be. And I don't know, like, if anyone else's parents told them. I didn't know going into it. But I know that, like, for example, the last challenge with the flying, the parents knew that was going to happen. I haven't seen that episode. I maybe should go back and try. I don't know, but I have a reason. Yeah, we can talk about that. I haven't seen it for a reason though.
I watch it and everything like that. It's very evident to me that the producers did love you when you were talking with the camera. You were a great camera talker, and that's what they look for. Again, the drama aside, I was chatting with Sam from season 2, who's like the encyclopedic of in real life. He absolutely loves it, and he says one of the reasons is probably because he made it to the final, so he likes talking about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did always say that he really thinks that you and Carlise would have done better with different partners.
I think so too. In the 2 days that episode was filmed, that I think like there were a lot of things going on, and we were both competitive, but we were both a very different kind of competitive. And again, it's an edited TV show, so
definitely,
things get left out from the edit that I don't necessarily know when it came down to that episode how much of a difference it's too hard to tell what could have been different. I remember being really bummed at the time, but obviously, like, as an adult now, like it is what it is. Like, I don't think about it often enough to, be concerned. Sometimes I think now, like, since we've started sort of messaging on this, I wonder what things would have been like if I had gone farther, but I don't think I would have done well. I don't. Like, I think I would have maybe made it halfway if I was lucky. Like, I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, I could have won. I wasn't going to win. Like, that wasn't.
Yeah, well, season 1, like, everyone always contributes it to Yellow and Purple because they were just gods at every single challenge too.
Yeah. And they were really well matched. So Purple is Ruby Ray and Ben.
Yeah.
They were great. Like, I don't remember them ever really arguing, fighting. Like, they were just kind of both focused. And I think that from what I remember with Talon and Maddie, like, I do think they kind of fought, but they fought like siblings.
Yeah, I was kind of watching ahead, and he gets her mad, but then she performs better and she doesn't take any of his shit, so they just go from there.
Yeah, they behaved like siblings in a way, which was fun. After we filmed, like, the three of us got together a few times with Graham. Actually, he had flown in from BC just to, I don't know why, but and we went to like Canada's Wonderland all together, and it was great. But they were more like siblings, so they were both super competitive. They fought with each other, but they were both, athletically gifted, and so they, I think they definitely dominated the season. I don't remember much of like what aired. My knowledge of the show really kind of comes from talking to the cast like afterwards.
Hmm. Well,
So
it would
I,
be very tough to watch, especially when you know that you're going home early and that the edit isn't 100%. And
yeah, I was happy with the edit. I was super happy with the edit when it aired. I think I came across fine, like
Mhm.
maybe a little useless, but like nice. Like they definitely,
Yeah.
like I sort of seemed more passive. They only got me whispering to someone that I hoped the alligator bit Ben's hand off. And I'm sure I did wish that to happen. I don't know why. Like, okay, I got one sort of snide remark in, but I think that the edit was generous to me in the sense that, like, I think I was snarkier on set, and I don't think that maybe worked with the narrative, especially because I wasn't going to last long. Like, I think if I was there longer, they would have kept the snarkiness and maybe got rid
Yeah.
of some of the fighting in a sense. But I think the idea was that I was just kind of taking it and getting screamed at, which was fine. Like, I don't really think that reflects negatively on me. So that was fine. I think they definitely made it nicer than it was. But I also think that like that was rough for her. You know, and you watch, like you say, you watch Drag Race, and I do know a lot of the queens, especially like in Canada, and I hear them talk about it, and like they're making a reality show. We made a reality show, and it's a competition setting, and now with social media, they can go on and tweet like, don't, relax, like it's a show, we're all good. And I think in terms of the editing, like she got it way worse than I did. I was quite pleased with what aired on TV. I thought they made me look like a nice person.
Yeah. Well, I really, especially in the rewatch I had, like today's reality TV standards, I do think they were quite generous to you. You know, that's right when reality TV was really hitting. I know the writer's strike happened just before then as well. So they were really trying to find reality TV programming. And yeah, I do think that Carlise had the bad end of the stick there. I also know, though, from watching reality TV and again with social media and seeing how these shows are really made, you guys are just kids. And that was just a heightened pressure, which, I mentioned in my episodes. It's kind of insane that they made kids do this kind of stuff and be in this setting. So I know personally that she doesn't deserve the hate or whatever.
No, I mean, listen, what you saw on TV was how it was, but I also think I think it's hard to be objective when you're a viewer and you're 12 years old. When you're an adult, and especially, have a greater awareness of
Hmm.
that barrier, I guess, between the camera and life. So yes, everything that you saw was what it was. It was really horrible. Like I did not have no, I had fun, but like those were not fun moments for me.
No.
But I think it's it's a lot easier now for us to look at it as grown-ups, be like, wow, these are children doing things that are like insane and in a competitive setting. And there was, I don't remember how much money it was. I mean, now it's not even like a crazy amount of money, but for kids, like, and you're competitive, and Carlise was an athlete. Like I believe
Hmm.
she was a track star, like in her area or her community.
Yeah.
So you've got kids who don't really have any life experience to know better. And we're lucky that we didn't have this really, I mean, I think we had Facebook, but social media wasn't what it was. So you don't think that like what you're doing is going to look a certain way on television. When you watch reality shows now, for the most part, unless you're an idiot saying the N-word on the Big Brother live feeds, like
Yeah.
you have an awareness, right? You have an awareness that what you're doing is being broadcast. But when you're 12
Yeah.
and 13 years old, you don't
Yeah.
have that. And so I hope she's doing well. I mean, again, I haven't heard from her, or we haven't communicated,
Hmm.
but everything that happened, yeah, it happened. But I think that it gave sort of a bad impression of her to a lot of people. And she's really nice. Like she was
Yeah.
lovely. When we weren't in that competition setting, she was lovely. We flew back home together from Kansas, which was where episode 3 was shot.
Hmm.
And we were unaccompanied minors. So we had like a lady that was like with us, and we were like running through the airport. They didn't really let us have a lot of junk food while we were filming. We would
Yeah.
go to restaurants, and like we were fed very well, but we weren't allowed to really eat like McDonald's. Like that was a treat. And so we were at the airport on a layover, and of course we were able to get ourselves McDonald's, and we had such a we like it was a really fun. We
Yeah.
had a great time. I don't know how that show would work today
Yeah. I don't.
because of the fact it was
Yeah.
kids doing things. I don't think.
Hmm.
I think it's the mental health aspect. I don't think that they would be able to get away with now, especially with the way the world is. But
Yeah.
it was amazing when we did it.
It's a really, I always say, like, it's kind of a important piece in time. Like it can't be replicated again today. If it is, it would be
Yeah.
probably done with a lot more restrictions, and there would be mental health people on set and everything like that. but even like some of the challenges, I think that you couldn't do. So it's really unique. It's almost like transporting back in time when you do watch it, because that's what 2009 was, and it was like unknown. Like even I've started venturing into season 2 and season 3, and that's when they kind of knew what they were doing. And
Yeah.
they also didn't have some of the budget money they did for season 1, but at the same time, it's like you could really tell that they were just throwing stuff at the wall.
And it stuck. And it stuck. And it was a great concept because it was The Amazing Race was at its heyday.
Mm-hmm.
And it very much was of that style. I mean,
Yeah.
contained to one location, we were in one area, but it was that idea of, going from one thing to the next. And, it was a 44-minute program, but we were there for 2 days getting to do that. And they did something quite wonderful with it. And it was exciting TV. I don't know if you remember that show like Endurance that was
Yes, I
on.
remember Endurance.
And that was sort of like their version of Survivor. And I feel like this was their version of trying to do something in that Amazing Race genre. And I think it was really well crafted. I think the casting was great in the first season. Like I think you look at
Yes.
I saw a little bit of season 2, I think, but I actually went abroad the following year, so I didn't get to catch most of it. But it was such a different and unique cast of characters, and and Sabrina as a host was brilliant.
Yeah,
Blew
still
my
is.
mind that she was 23 when she filmed that, because I think it was in your video.
Yeah.
Was it you that said she was 23? I had no
Yeah.
idea.
I
I was
googled it
very
and I was blown away. Like
blown away because I don't know. I think we're about the same age. You
yeah,
and
I was born in 97.
okay, so you're a couple years younger than me,
Yeah.
but I grew up, Video
Yeah.
on Trial was like the hottest show on Much Music. And I knew of her from there. And when you're a kid, I mean, I always laugh, like when you're in kindergarten, the grade 8 seem like adults. When you're in like,
Mm-hmm.
grade 9, the grade 12 seem like adults. And it kind of like, I still don't feel like I look at like a, 40-year-old, I'm like, oh, that's an adult.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just gonna keep
so
going.
the fact that she was 23 blew my mind. And like, I still remember the room when they announced that she was the host. And it was the moment that I knew her and I were going to get along really well. So that we were all sat in like a circle. And I believe it was Paul had a guitar. I might be making this up, but someone had a guitar. And I remember singing, we were all like singing and hanging out, and we were in Atlanta at the hotel room in like this like room that they had. I remember singing Drift Away. I think that's Uncle Cracker. And I don't know why that's like the specific memory, but we were sat in a circle and they were like, have people guess. And it was like a 20 question style thing. And someone had asked if the host had big lips. And I made the joke. I'm like, well, I don't think Angelina Jolie is coming to do this with us. And it was narrowed down through like Video on Trial, and then we figured out that it was her. And I remember I was talking to her on set, and she was told like she asked her, they told her like how that conversation with the kids went, and they mentioned the big lips, and she made the same joke I made, and I was like, okay, we're gonna.
Yeah.
And she was amazing, and to be 23 years old, to travel North America with 18 kids.
Yeah.
That like I'm 29. That sounds like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I would not do that.
There's no amount of money, like, and there's no way like any production company would have the budget to convince me to do that. And she was so good with us. And she was so like, because we all knew who she was. We were all, we were of that age that were watching Video on Trial. We were all starstruck in a way by who she was. And she was so much fun. Episode 1, we had like this media room at the NASCAR stadium, speech or whatever it was. But we were outside a lot. People were getting heat stroke. So a lot of people were getting sick and like almost passing out because it was so, I mean, it was hot and you're on the asphalt. And I remember like there were fire ants. And I think, Talon sat on a bunch of fire ants and got bit. But it was so bad in terms of just the heat and having a bunch of kids running around that from then on, they brought us trailers for us to hang out in between shots. Because again, the episode takes 2 days to film and there's a lot of downtime as they're setting everything up for the next
hurry up
challenge.
and wait.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait. And I remember, like, I believe she had her own trailer, but she was always with us. Like, we would watch, like, it was like the Japanese version. It was before they even brought the American version over of like the Ninja Warrior shows.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Like people doing like ridiculous obstacle courses, and we would sit in the trailer with the satellite TV and we would watch the show, and she would tell us jokes and she would sing songs. Like she was incredible. Again, 23 years old. So like not, at the time when you're 13, 23, like that's a woman, like that's an old lady, like 23 years old. That's a baby human. And to have been so incredible with, again, 18 like ridiculous.
She completely didn't have to do that.
No, she was awesome. I haven't seen her in a few years, but whenever she'd have a show in Toronto, I'd always try to go and see her. And she's so wonderful, so warm. And again, to be 23 years old and have that kind of patience, I just like amazing. It amazes me now.
With 18 different personalities too.
And big personalities, because that was kind of the point, right? Like they wanted people that were going to be on, she was happy to be there, or at least she seemed happy to be there. And like, she was always cracking jokes, and like it was very organic, right? Like it was in the real world at the time. Like it was so new and so it was exciting, and she was such a big part of that. And I don't know if people really, because I'm sure Jeff Probst and Phil from like I don't think they're hanging out with the contestants.
No, and that's another thing I kind of wanted to ask you. It seems as you were talking, like all these other shows sequester them, like they have to go back to their hotel rooms and they can't even talk to the other contestants. Where you guys knew each other, it seems like you were all together. Yeah,
the whole time. So everybody except for the 4 people from BC got to meet at the airport, and then they met us in Atlanta, and yeah, we were together. And like, it's kids too, right? Like you can't have 13-year-olds sitting in a hotel room doing nothing. So like, I remember we went to the movies, and we'd go for dinners, and we'd go for walks in the park, and we would play games. Like it was great. And like where we stayed, we got hotels. I know that they got like a student house for some of the locations, but it was fun. And we would hang out in each other's rooms and get noise complaints in Kansas. We all kind of pulled up during a tornado warning in Kansas. Like it was fun.
Yeah, and I know Sam mentioned to me he thought that the off time was more fun than the actual filming, and it was totally what he didn't expect going into it.
Filming was tedious. Like it, and it was, again, it was a very special time, and I'm grateful for every challenge that I did. I don't think I could change a car tire again. Like I think I'll pay someone to do that, but we did it, and I got to do well on camera at one thing. That was good enough for me.
Yep. You went from last to you did well in the go-kart.
We went from first to last because I loved go-karting. It's a thing that my family, we did it all the time. And I mean, you probably watched it recently. I don't remember how the order was determined for the go-karts. Did we have to go somewhere first, or did we just start with the go-karts?
You had to run to find the flag somewhere in the Atlanta.
And we got there second. I got there second.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Well, I know that was chaos because Aaron jumped the fence when he wasn't supposed to, and all that. So there was.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Everywhere.
But then again, we were ahead at that point. No, I don't know. I just remember Paige and Jaden got there first, and we were second. And I knew I was like the go-karting. I'm like, I can't run, but I can ride a go-kart. And I said to her, and I knew Paige was afraid of the go-kart. I said, just hit the gas, pass her. If you can if you can pass her and keep your position, I can do this. And I think we left that with like a significant lead, as significant as it can be for, laps around go-kart. I think we did like 20 laps or something. But I was excited for that. And so that was good. Aside from that, no, but I got to demonstrate that I could do something.
Yeah. And then at the end of the episode, you got to ride in the NASCAR, and you did pass about 4 or 5 teams by getting those 3 colors.
I think, okay. So the theory that I know Maddie had about Talon was that he just wanted to sit in the NASCAR. He didn't really care, which like, I don't blame him. Like it was super cool. And I feel very lucky that I was able to do that. And then going into week 2, the idea was that the person who had to do the thing, that Carlise was just going to do it. She wanted to. And we get in that airboat ride. Do they show us whipping around an airboat at the beginning of the episode?
They do. Yeah, right at the start.
So much fun. And we had to go around quite a few times because they wanted to get all these different shots. So much fun. And we, you see the alligators, and she's like, I'm not doing it. She goes, there's no way, I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. You're doing it. And then I got Army green in muddy water on an alligator.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't know why they wouldn't give you or the brown team like a lighter shade at the very least.
Or just anything. Like the brown team and the gray team, like that sucked for them. And I remember, we talked, the producers and I talking about it afterwards, and they were like, well, do you think it was unfair? And I was like, kind of, but like, I'm also not going to complain, because as much as I wanted to do better, I think I was like, enough of this. And then we reshot that sort of ending of the episode to make it look like it was close, but it was.
So they do like the competition. They make it fair where whoever ends up where, but if they do want to make it look
Yeah.
still
So it was all with timers. So like we were so far behind. So like people would be doing the challenge, and then they would say, okay, green team, go.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it was our turn to start. And then for that camera angle of all the legs running, we redid that after to make it look like, at least for the audience, they would have that experience of like who's going out. We knew it was us, and like, it was, which was fine. I did kill an alligator. Sorry, PETA.
Ooh.
I didn't mean to. This is like, yeah, and I feel horrible. And I actually went back there. My family has a house in Florida, and so I went back to that alligator farm and got to like have weird war flashbacks. But and they kind of show it on TV, but they show it in a way where you don't know. Yeah. So there's a bit where I like grabbed the alligator and it kind of turned to like bite me or something. And so I sort of like freaked out, as I would. Obviously, and sort of tossed it. And on television, they show this like lovely slowed down version of it just landing in the water. It fully bounced off the wall. And landed in the water.
Just a baby, so just dead.
Yeah. And I don't condone like cruelty to animals. Like I don't want Peter to come at me and be like, you're an animal killer. Yes, but like not on purpose. Like I didn't mean to.
Well, again, you're 12 years old. They're throwing all you kids in this alligator pen and telling you to bring them to the bucket.
And I'm such a wuss. Like I don't really know why I thought it was a good idea. Because like I knew I'm much more adventurous now, but I still like I would skydive and do all that. I've done all that, but I was the biggest wuss as a kid, especially. I don't know why I thought like this was going to be a good idea, but also like I don't think I ever saw them wrestle alligators on The Amazing Race.
No,
like they weren't doing that.
That's what shocked me, especially when I rewatched, because I forgot all of it, and then I'm watching it and I'm like when I saw the preview for the alligators, I was like, the fuck? Like, they don't do that on The Amazing Race.
Anything with animals, like even the bull riding.
Yeah,
which I really wanted to do. And, the baby alligators, yeah, okay. But like the NASCAR stuff, we were driving go-karts, so like that's not that unsafe. And whenever we were with professional drivers, like it was, and we got instruction for every
they would have broke it down.
They break it down like, this is how you pick up an alligator. This is how you're going to grab him. This is how you're going to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. And I believe for the big alligator, Carlise and I were fast. And again, like it's all broken up, so like you have a little time to recover. I do remember our feet being horrendously like maimed, because we had to wear, health and safety was a thing, right? So we had to wear shoes and socks in the water all day. So our feet were in wet socks all day. And I remember everybody having like quite severely messed up feet for a few weeks.
Was there another big break between 2 and 3? I know you went home, but
no, we flew out to Kansas
right away,
because we flew out to Kansas with them. Yeah, right away.
The break for you could also be them trying to get sponsors to pay for the prize. Film the first episode, show people.
Yeah,
very
perhaps.
Well too.
Because we filmed our packages in that time, and no one had gone home yet. So you didn't have anyone who was like not even in the competition, like filming like, oh, I'm on this show. And then we flew to Miami. We got stuck in Toronto because of a storm and ended up having to leave the next morning. And then we did our photo shoot, like the cast photos in Miami. And I remember like we're filming outside of Miami. Like it was a little bit out, but that's where we had like our photo shoot. And I remember we were taken to dinner at what ended up being a gay bar, which I think is quite funny. But it was called like the Big Pink. And it was like an all-day breakfast. It was fantastic. And we got 20 minutes at South Beach to go into the water because we sort of pushed for it.
Yeah.
And Sabrina with us, and we all got to the water, but otherwise, like, that was it. And then we were filming the alligators the next day.
You said that you didn't quite know some of the experiences, even though that the parents did. Did you know by the flight and by there that you were going to alligators, or did you just show up and that was, we're doing alligators?
We definitely didn't know before the plane. We knew where we were going,
Mm-hmm.
because that'd be hard to keep from us. I think we found out the morning of, like, on set. I think, like, it was because when they were like, "Oh, we're driving to the speedway or whatever," we figured, all right, well, then we're doing something to do with NASCARs. We were going to the Everglades. I mean, I don't know. I think I don't remember if we were told that morning, if we found out on set when we actually got there what was happening. For the bull riding thing, like, they were just going to a farm, and
Yeah.
then did they have to, on the show, did they have to ride fake bulls?
They did, yes. Right at the start of that episode,
Yeah.
they
Okay.
were bucking, yeah.
Yeah. So before the cameras even started, there was a lesson in that, and I think
Yeah.
that's when we found out that that was what was happening on the farm. I had
Mhm.
food poisoning in Kansas, so that was fun.
Did you get to watch the experience like from off camera since you were there?
No, we got to hang out in the trailers,
Just
which
wait
is
and
kind of,
then yeah.
yeah. We waited in the trailers, and they would come back and tell us what was going on.
Yeah, of course, you'd still talk to everybody and
Yeah. It was very much like just like 18 kids traveling. Like, we all, and then I remember when Maddie got home, she gave me the rundown of, like, the series.
yeah.
How did they end the finale? Like, I know that Maddie had to quit.
Maddie was ahead of Ruby Ray, which was weird. But she managed to do like a couple of the tasks right. I only watched it once and it was about a couple months ago. But Maddie quit because she got sick and they had to land the plane. So Ruby did her final thing and Sabrina opened up the or Ruby came out of the thing and Sabrina's like, "You won. Congratulations." And that was it.
Did they show Maddie getting sick?
Yes.
That's why I can't watch. I have this, like, weird thing. I can't watch people get sick.
Yeah. That was you didn't see it necessarily, but you saw her in the plane get the bag up and all that kind of stuff. So it was, yeah, I still not recommend you watch it.
Yeah. So I knew that was what had happened. So I was like, I'm good. I watched everything leading up to it. It was not something that I knew I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
I was also super team Maddie.
I was Maddie. I like rewatching it. Like, she's awesome. She did very well, and I love how she just spoke her mind. And
She was a lot of fun. Like, her and I were really close during filming, after filming for a little bit. I think Ruby was just super focused. And maybe I wasn't there long enough, so, like, I didn't get to see a different side of her. Very nice, very polite, but she was just a little bit more serious than everybody else, which I think kind of makes sense as to why she won.
Yeah, I could agree with that, and I could see that happening too. And a lot of the contestants did kind of go, probably like when they were trying to wrench her later on in the show and everything like that. Like, you could just see that she's totally focused and she's just good at a lot of things.
She's got a work ethic that I don't think the rest of us had.
Yeah. Well, I could see them getting annoyed at her. Even like in Experience 5, which I just did the video on, they went to an Alberta farm they had to like stick the thermometers up the pigs.
Oh, they had to be like actual farmers. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course, like, she just rocked that. Like, there was no chance.
Because it was her life, I think. I might be getting this wrong. Like, I don't know. I think we're still friends on Facebook. She could message me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure, like, she's a farmer. And she had a work ethic, and she killed it.
Yeah. Of course, like, when we watch reality TV nowadays, we always go for a lot of times the underdog we love to cheer for. So of course, like, I could, like, and you're close with Maddie, like, during filming, and I'm watching it, I'm like, well, Ruby's the obvious winner. Let's go, Maddie.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really close with her, and I loved, and it's just devastating how, with Lilith, I loved her person. And again, we never kept in touch after filming, but, like, she was so warm and just bubbly and lovely. And
yeah, I hurt a little when I read of her passing, and it is a shame, and but it's nice to see that her edit is portrayed very much of who she is, I would suppose.
She was great. She was so sweet. Maddie, I actually knew for years before. The other Maddie, I knew for years because we're both from Barrie. Like, Barrie was a small town at the time, especially. So we knew each other. We went to elementary school together for like kindergarten.
That's crazy.
And I used to run into. I haven't really seen much of her, but I used to run into her mom all the time. was really funny. And I loved her mom.
Now, did
Her mom's a very sweet woman.
you mentioned parents before of how they knew everything. Did they join you at all during the show, or did
No,
they ship you off? They
no, we were
that's
shipped off. Yeah.
that's great. Because at one point when I was watching the alligator experience, I saw a bunch of people and I thought maybe that's the parents watching you guys, but I guess those were just real people in the park.
Those are just tourists. Yeah, like this was so like for NASCAR, the stadiums are really only in use when there's stuff happening, right? For
Yeah.
the farms, like they booked the farm, there were tourists like in the alligator farm because it's like an operation where like people can go for airboat rides and I went, was it last year I went with my sister and it was weird going back, I have to say, because I'm very visual with memory, and so like walking through there, I was like, oh my god, I remember like running around this bit with like 9 rats in my shirt.
Like, oh my god, this is the path.
With I think the cringiest thing it was the shirt. So it had episode 1, you kind of were all wearing like the bandanas and the buffs because we didn't have colors assigned to us. That happened on camera.
Yeah.
Did it happen on camera? The actual pairing?
Yes, it did.
And we were not aware of it before, so I guess they wanted our reactions. And then when we went home, then they were like, okay, you need to bring, shirts, and you needed 2 shirts of every like you needed 2 of the same. And so I had shirts like steamed or whatever that had the Jessinator on it because I just thought that'd be funny because it's what my teacher used to call me when I would humble brag. I was good at spelling tests in school, and that's what she would write on my tests. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I could make this a thing. I was already branding at 13 years old. But
the mind.
but I still have the shirts. I found them. I don't
really?
have they're in Florida. They're at the Florida house in like my like random like pajama, like lounging around. And there's 2 of them.
That's iconic. The green shirt.
It's there. It's in a local newspaper in Barrie too, which my grandparents of course have in their basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still there. I was branding.
The Jessinator.
Yeah, I think I would have approached the entire situation very differently now as an adult. But
have you kept any memorabilia besides the shirt?
I don't think so. I had that alligator head for a long time. I don't know where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that in many, many years. But no, I don't think I kept much. Just the shirts. They got a few washes after the dead rats. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because I was doing them I think other people were like trying to carry these rats. I'm like, I'm not touching. I literally grabbed them, put them in my shirt. Like, when you were a kid and you have to like carry things.
Just put it right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd assume that the watches are long gone.
The watches?
Every eliminated contestant gets an in the real world watch.
I don't know if I ever got a watch.
That would kind of make sense actually, because like obviously they had to rebrand. It wasn't in real life when you filmed it.
No, it was not.
So they kept saying in real life watches, and I always
it was ADR though. Yeah, I don't remember getting a watch, but again, like
so long ago.
Yeah, it was so long ago. If I did get a watch, I definitely don't have it now. Maybe my mom has it. My mom has the DVDs somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They gave you all DVDs of the show, right? Yeah.
Yes, they were mailed or something. I don't remember ever seeing these DVDs, but I know that we have them in storage. So maybe there's a watch there too. I don't know.
Well, that's awesome. Now, after the show, again, it was like a year before it aired. So what was that lead up like, especially when you're going home early?
I don't know. Like it was fine. So the show aired. It was originally supposed to air, I think, in February, and it ended up airing in March because of the rebrand.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like kids at school being like, "Oh, I saw that," and I was like, "Yeah." Like, but I don't remember like hyping it up as much as I probably would have. I was like, "Yeah, it's a good show." And then I remember we got to go film E-Talk Daily, which was fun, which was really, really fun. We got to come down, to the city, and
was that all of you there?
It was Carlise, Landon, Paul, and I. We were interviewed by Danielle McGimsey. She used to host. I was super excited because I love music, and she hosted the Hit List on YTV.
Oh yeah,
remember the Hit List?
That's coming back to me. Yes,
it was like a top 20 like music video, but it was like kiddie music video. So it was like Atomic Kitten and S Club 7 and Britney, and it was great. And I loved it. I would try to watch it every week. So I was really excited that she got to interview us, and like we got to meet Ben Marini. Which one's the one that wasn't Prime Minister? Ben, and we got to meet Leah Miller who was I think So You Think You Dance Canada's host and like a Much Music VJ. So it was fun. And that was sort of the biggest thing I remember in the lead up. And then I just remember watching it at home. And I remember being nervous about like how it was gonna
Yeah, come
look,
out.
because it was difficult at the time. And I was like, it's not gonna be fun like going home first and having that happen. But the response that I did end up seeing was a lot of people just sort of feeling bad that I was, treated that way, quote unquote. And so like it was fine. Once it aired, it was fine. I remember the producers asked us to send in journal entries about the episodes that we were in. And I like took to this like it was a school assignment, and like I was like really, really, and I was like spilling all the tea and like being really, and then I think they sent us back. Like I got to read what was being posted like before, and like they took out a lot of what I thought were jokes because it didn't fit with the
Yeah.
narrative. I wasn't snarky on TV. I was like very mild mannered, which at the time was farthest from the, like that maybe
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily the truth, but I remember like preparing for those, and that was kind of fun, and and getting the updates of, okay, it's airing on this day. And but aside from that, like once it aired, like there wasn't like a premiere party or anything.
Yeah, well, that was again very early in reality TV. Like it would be hard to season one, especially. I've always found difficult to find you guys anywhere, sort of thing, because that was again a totally different time. You were just
Mhm.
kids, 13. Why would they have a premiere party? It was just a show that they did.
Because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah,
And it was cool. Like, so after I ended up kind of going down a bit of a in real life rabbit hole on like TikTok and Instagram, just to try to see like I didn't realize that there was still an audience for it. Like I didn't know that it was a nostalgic thing. We get the occasional messages on Facebook, which are really quite nice, but I didn't realize that it was like a thing that people were like remembering. And so then I would go in through like the comments of the YouTube videos, and I think I responded to some of them. Like there was one that was talking about like something about me getting yelled at. I was like, yeah, imagine living through it. And so I was having fun with that, but I went down, and it was fun to see that like something that we we're just doing because we were a bunch of kids having
yeah,
like fun and doing that, and that it's people are enjoying it now is fun, because I do think it was a good show.
yeah. It's a show that's part of a specific time period. It is wild to watch back, and
Yeah.
it's totally authentic. Like, of course, it's edited, but that is how kids are and were back then,
Mm-hmm.
and it's different
Mm-hmm.
personalities. It's quite a fun show to watch still.
Know if I'd do it again as an adult. Like, you're a big reality TV fan. Is there a show that you would want to go on?
That's tough because of you don't want to go on a show, be portrayed badly, and have social media come at you. I
Right.
mean, you deserve it if you do something like Luke just did on Big
Yeah, but
Brother.
then you watch like Drag Race, because that's again, and you see, and oftentimes it is, you know, queens of color, but like you see people who are, overly competitive, and all of a sudden they're an asshole, and
Yeah.
and we're taught to hate them. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I think like I'd love to be a housewife. Like that I could do.
Well, that would be
Um,
fun.
I would, yeah, like Big Brother. I just don't think I have time for it. I would totally love to do the Amazing Race Canada.
Yes, that would
That
be
I would
awesome.
do because I think it's pretty hard to get a bad edit on that kind of show because it's so fast paced, and
Yeah, and
it's not a social show.
yeah, it's not social show at all, and I find the Canada version really shows the good sides of every contestant too.
Yeah, I've
Like,
never seen the Canadian one. I've only, and I don't. My friend's on it right now, and I where to watch. I can't figure out how to watch it on my TV. Watching like the updates on like I've been like googling it to
yeah,
like figure out how they're doing, because like I don't know. In a similar way to in real life, don't yell at anybody.
mhm.
Your head down for the most. Like I do think that's a show that you could get away with like coming across generally well, as long as you don't go out of your way
Yeah.
to be a bad person. I think it would be fun to do also, just to see if I could like make it, past the first round. Like if I could get into like 3 episodes, and I'd be like, you know what, I can go home now. I've done what I needed to do.
Well,
I just,
that's something that you can even put in your application. Like, this was me when I was 13 and I went home first. I
you
would like
know,
to.
I don't know. Maybe I would do it with my sister though, probably.
Yeah.
And she's just as obnoxious as I am. So like, I think it'd be entertaining. I think it would be. I think we'd be polarizing characters on television, and that's why I think that The Amazing Race would be like a better forum for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a different world now, and I don't, for the reasons we've already talked about, like I don't think it would work with these kids in the same way that it did back then.
No. Well, for one thing, YTV, like obviously we're growing up, we haven't watched much of it, but you look back at it and it's quite amazing the amount of shows that they had at the same time. Now with streaming, it's they're barely a network anymore.
I know
They're
Mystery Hunters. I wanted to be a mystery hunter so bad. They yeah, that was a great era for them, I think, in terms of reality television. And it
yeah.
was Apartment 11 really
Yeah,
dominating
all of
that
it.
field.
Yeah, they had Mystery Hunters, they had Prank Patrol, they had In Real Life, and they had another one, I think, that was all airing at the same time.
Yeah, what was the guy? It was like Finkelstein was the
Yeah,
the main guy.
I think Finkelstein. Yeah,
Jonathan, right? Is Jonathan? Is that right?
Jonathan. Yep, I'm pretty sure.
He was lovely. Yeah, he was lovely. He was lovely, and I'm happy that he was super successful. I'm a little bitter that he didn't make me a mystery hunter, but you know.
We'll have to call Doubting Dave Asser.
Oh my God, Doubting Dave.
Yeah. Did you ever think about that? Like, even though it was like a kid show, it's like, wow, like Carlos from YTV could be watching me. They know who I am.
No. I mean, I no, and like Sugar, because like it was Carlos
Yeah.
and Sugar. I always just laugh because I was on YTV before Priyanka. I was the YTV gay first, so I don't think at the time of filming, especially, I don't think I had like this idea that it was going to be a television show that people would watch.
It was just a
Like it
summer
was
activity
very
that
much
you did.
kind of. I mean, I knew we were making the TV show because it was the TV shows like the ones I like to watch, but I think I was very like in the like we're doing this competition, we're filming it. I don't think I had the foresight to be like, people are actually going to watch this, which I think is how you get authentic characters on TV. And I think that's missing from TV now. And I think that's probably why we got a lot of the moments on that show that we got, was because we weren't thinking that 7 months from now, or 8 months from now, or however long it was, that people are actually going to like watch this, absorb this in the same way that we would with other shows. So,
and like as you said, like
the reaction,
the reaction was good.
it was immediate. Like it was so weird. We went to like Wonderland as a group, and people would stop us. I went to Calgary during like shortly after the 2 episodes I was on had like finished, had like aired. So like the show was still airing. I went to Calgary, and there were no kids from Calgary on that season. And we went to the Science Center, and I remember being stopped like 50 times, and it was the most like, amazing. Like I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like I love this. And that was, so it was a positive thing, but I couldn't have imagined that was, that anyone besides like me, my friends, and my family were going to actually watch the show.
Yeah, just a very pleasant surprise, like people running into. But at the same time, you weren't, because social media wasn't that big, like you weren't trying to be an influencer or anything like that. That was just kind of like an authentic, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, I don't think anyone. I mean, I think there's a few people now who are more active on social media. It's the best one is Landon.
Yes,
Landon.
I follow Landon.
She's so good, and like the food and like the drinks that she makes, she's so good. Like she's the kind of person who, like, if this show aired now and like we were older, she would be the breakout star of the show.
Oh yeah. Well, in my rewatch, I think I even said it in my video. She's my, like, back then I was like, loved the gimmick of like the little Nova Scotian boy, Aaron, the ginger, like, yeah, I'm cheering him on. Nowadays, when I watch it, the breakout star clearly to me is Landon. Just her reactions to everything, and nowadays to see like who she's grown into, it's like she would have been awesome.
I haven't seen her probably. I ran into her and it's been a long time because that nightclub has been gone for years. It was called Fly. It was in the church. Well, it was in the gay village, and we were out, and she was there, and we were so excited to see each other. Yeah, she is the breakout. Like if this show was airing today, she would be the breakout star of it because she's adorable. She's so sweet. And her social media game is incredible. And it's in a way where like I don't feel like she's not forcing anything. She's very genuine in that. but certainly at the time, none of us were aware of that being a thing. I mean, yeah, no, I don't think that anybody was really planning on like becoming an influencer afterwards. Would have been nice though. I could have, I wouldn't have minded the paycheck that comes with that, but
True.
I don't think, I don't think I'd be a great influencer.
No. Well, you're a very good talker. I very much enjoyed this interview and everything.
I am a rambler. Like this interview is gonna be a mess when you have to edit this, but it's just it's amazing to me that like it's just even since like you and I started kind of talking, like the memories have come back and like realizing like how cool it is that we did it because I didn't really, I don't think I got a chance to enjoy it as much at the time.
Mm-hmm. And at that very weird time of airing before social media, and now it's like 15 years later, fleeting, but you know, media lasts forever. People are finding it. It's really cool.
It's great. I got to fail at like the thing I was like the most excited about. And I think that's iconic. I'm the pork chop of in real life. I'm the pork chop.
Well, you know, they always say like the first person ever out on a first season is the king or queen.
Yeah, listen, I'll take it. I'll take it. And like I don't think I would have done much better if I got any farther. Like I think.
What was an experience that you really wanted to do that you didn't get to?
Hang on, I'm gonna go Wikipedia and just remind myself of what all the experiences were.
Which, isn't it cool that you have a Wikipedia, like your name's on a Wikipedia page?
I know, but it's not like my real name, which it's like it's my old name, which I'm obsessed with, and I've done that. They have my age wrong on Wikipedia. At no point during filming was I 12. I was 13 for episode 1 and 14 from then on.
We'll have to edit the page.
Okay, what do we got here? Auto racing, I got to do alligators. The Hollywood stunt thing would have been really fun. The ER would have probably been okay. Dirty jobs, I would have hated. The circus, I would have been bad at. The adventure guides, I would have died.
Just completely.
Yeah. Police action. See, now I'm really good. Like, I'm really pleased that in today's climate, there's no footage of me in a police uniform. Like, that's great. I would have loved to do the pilot one, but I think I would have hated it at the time. I think I'd love to do that one now.
Yes.
Because, like, I've done the skydiving. That was amazing. And I don't really get motion sick, so I think I'd be fine.
Yeah, that was I completely forgot about the final until I rewatched it, and that's kind of crazy that they had you doing that. Like that's something I'd like to do today, but like to get the girls to do that, go up in the real plane.
I'm shocked that she had to quit though, because the first to 3, and she had an advantage. What did the advantage mean that she had apparently?
She won the advantage in the first part of where you had to drop the bean bags on the target. She did it. She won that. And the advantage was she only had to do, she didn't have to do as much as Ruby, I don't think.
Oh.
Or like they were dogfighting, right? So they were shooting.
Yeah. So it was a $15,000 scholarship, but I think the concept was that by the time you got to university, it would be $25,000.
Yeah.
Because of the interest. And then the trip for 4 to Hawaii, I don't think we were made aware of that during filming.
That might have been like we're showing sponsors this, and
I think so, because I don't remember that being a thing. But like Ruby Ray has like so many records. It's insane.
Yeah, across all 3 seasons too. I always joked, especially when I was talking with Sam, like he always wanted an all-star season or a second chance season or something like that.
I did too. I totally, at the time I wanted one, and I thought I would have gotten it for sure because I was cocky. And actually looking back, they probably would have, because I think it would have been a good story to have like the partners swapped. I think it would have been a good
partner swap, and also like the whole 0 to hero thing, right? First out, and like they, as you said, like they loved you, like talking and
it would have taken a lot of editing, I think, for them, and like a lot of rigging for them to get me to the final of any season if that's what they wanted to do. Like it's not like. I don't think it's like Big Brother where they kind of rig it a little, or like
just a little.
Or like RuPaul's Drag Race where you're kind of just like, that's not how that should have gone. It would have taken a lot of editing and a lot of rigging to get me to the end of any season of the show. And as an adult, I recognize that now.
Back then,
I recognize that now as an adult that I would not have been successful at any point in time. They should do an all-star season now.
Yeah, see who'd come back. Get like everyone in their late 20s.
People would. That would be fun. I would go back.
Bring back Sabrina 1,000% too.
If you start the campaign, I'll sign the petition.
That's what I'm trying to do. Like even like when I thought I had the idea to make a video about it, I thought, oh, someone's probably already done it, but no, there's nothing. right?
No,
So
there's
I
nothing.
thought I'm gonna try to get the movement going.
Yeah, and once a year I get like a message, or twice a year I get like a message from somebody who like watched the show and liked it. And normally they're positive interactions. The one was just weird because he kind of added us all into like this weird group chat that we were kind of like, oh, we don't even know
Ooh.
each other.
We haven't talked to each other in 10 years.
Like, I don't even know half these people. Like, I wonder who was even. I wonder if I could. I don't even know. But like, it was a bunch of people that I had like never heard of. So like, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure if they were all like fans of the show. I had no idea it was around Christmas.
Well, a lot of people assume like through different seasons that you would know everybody. It's a big family, it's a big community. Especially back then, no way.
Okay, Sam left the group. I left the group. Someone named Teo was in it. But right now, the only people in it are, and I guess I'm in it. I didn't leave. Oh wow, a lot of people. And I don't. It's like okay, so I don't even know if half these people were ever on the show. Like I don't know. The Sam's there. I don't know a Telston. Was there a Telston on the show?
Yeah, I think that's a season 3. I've only watched one episode of season 3 so far.
Ted, Tristan. These are names I've never heard in my life. And this one fan, David, like, oh, Carlise. We're not even friends on Facebook.
Which another thing from my video, the way she says all four, like her full legal government name.
Does she?
Yeah, they in her intro, she's like, "My name is Carlise Art Martha something Gomez,"
That's
and
hilarious.
everyone says their name too.
Yeah, which is like weird. Like you don't do that on TV now.
No,
You don't
to
do
like
your full
Google
name.
it, especially for
Yeah.
kids. That's so weird.
Yeah. And again, my name is different now, so like I think that helps because I don't have people like people
Yeah.
don't really find me as much anymore, which is kind of nice. Just with like work and stuff. But yeah, it's funny that there are people who like will like find us. And again, like add us all these group chat. I don't know these people. I've met like a few of them, like I know a few of them, but like I haven't seen these people in many, many movies.
What was the last person you think you've seen from the season?
In person, it would have been Logan at the bar.
Logan at the bar. Wow.
Landon.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Landon. She's the last person I've seen in person. But I don't know. We see each other on Facebook. We all like each other's stuff, and
It's nice. You don't have to be in each other's life. It's like a school class. Like you don't see anybody from that era, right?
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know who keeps in touch. Oh, you know who's the sweetest was Isaiah.
Isaiah.
What a sweet. Yeah, I hope he's doing well. I think we're still friends on Facebook.
He was in the edit anyway, the only one that was sad about you going home that they left in the episode. In episode 3, Sabrina's like, "How do you feel about Carlise and Jesse?" And everyone's like, "Oh, we miss Carlise." And then Isaiah's like, "And Jesse." Like he was very
because I was a bitch. Like I don't like again. Like I was snarky. I was like I read everybody. I wasn't nice. Like I was there to make great television, and none of it made it. Which thank God.
Do you remember something that you were surprised didn't make it?
No, I don't remember anything like that. I just remember, but I also like didn't remember saying that I hoped it bit his hand off.
Yeah.
And like I did. I'm sure I did. I remember not liking him, and I don't remember why. Like I'm sure it was for no good reason.
Well, sometimes you just hate people.
We were roommates in Florida because like they sort of switched like who roomed with who.
Yeah, I know. In episode 4, the one reason like Ruby really wanted to wrench Red because Red was starting to be more of a power team, and Ben refused because Aaron was his roommate.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he say that on camera?
He said that on camera, and they left it in. I was shocked because that's like outside the game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care. Like, I mean, obviously, I didn't have the opportunity to wrench anyone, but I wonder how I would have played it. I would have probably wrenched purple every single time probably for the same reason, because it was purple and yellow that were doing the best, and I wouldn't have been able to wrench Maddie.
Yeah, because you were so close with her.
Yeah, it's weird how that kind of all works in the end, right? Like it's weird that there was so much going on off camera personally that doesn't ever make the cut, and it did affect things, and I'm sure it affected decisions along the way.
Well, especially with kids, you're all like, there's a whole different world that's not on camera, right?
Like Talon was probably easy to wrench.
He got wrenched a lot.
Yeah, although I really enjoyed him on set. Like even like he was always very funny, very like I don't remember disliking him.
Yeah, he reminds me of the kids in grade 8 that were always like good at sports and like cool class clown in class. And
That was absolutely him. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's the age we were. We were grade 8. I think there were some kids that were younger. Yeah, because we were the oldest, because that was like the cutoff.
I know that there was, it might have been the cop episode where I never had the scale for it before, but Sabrina was standing beside Ruby Ray, and I didn't know whether Ruby Ray is really tall or Sabrina's just short as shit.
I thought you were gonna say Graham.
Well, Graham's tall.
He's tall. He was tall. Because like I was tall, he was, and Lilith was very tall as well.
Paul looked short, but that was probably
short.
in comparison to Lilith too.
Yeah, Paul was not a tall guy. Is not. Well, actually, no, I don't know. Maybe I can't say. I have no idea how tall he is now.
By the way, like I assume not. It's the standard nowadays with reality TV. But did you get compensated anything for going on the show? No. Didn't think so.
Sam? Did they do that for later seasons?
No, they didn't. No. I don't think. But I just know that like nowadays, like I know they're more professional productions, but if you survive like a week in Big Brother, you get like $1,000, right? Like
yeah. I'm trying to think, is it episode based? Because like for the Amazing Race, it's episode based. For Drag Race, it's episode based.
Yeah, you do get.
But yeah, no, we didn't get that. And I'm dying to know. I'm gonna ask Mom, when I did that one TV show, was I ever gonna watch?
It'd be really cool if you do still have it, because I assume wait, did Sabrina give it to you on set? Because if she did, like I know you can't remember, but it would have said in the real world instead of in real life on it, which is
because
really...
everything was in the real world. And I remember thinking, I'm like, even at 13, like I was like, that seems really similar to a TV show that I never watched the Real World. I think I was probably too young at that point, but I remember thinking like, this already exists. Like this is a show. Clearly
they got legal action or something. It's really funny watching that season though, because like every time she lifts a clipboard, you can see like in the real world written on it, and they cut really fast.
Yeah, it's everything was branded. Like it was big. They were, I guess our production was maybe the biggest one.
I would, after watching season 2 was good, but after watching season 1, like you had the production and the cast to support it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about any of the other casting. I mean, I'd love to chat with Sam and just like hear what his experiences were. But I think they learned how to do it. I think they definitely streamlined season 1, right? So they could figure out like how to make things easier. And I'm surprised the prize money dropped though, because usually it's the other way around. We were well fed. I just remember we had like eating well.
Craft services was good.
Yeah. Well, and then we go out for dinners. And like I remember we would go to this like the Golden Corral, which I think probably now is not a place I would go to because I don't love buffets, but we loved it. Loved it. We had so much fun, and it was like we got a Wendy's once. That was exciting.
That was a treat.
That was a treat. Yeah, they had these 4 handlers, who were like our people. Like they were the ones that were like watching us, driving us from here, here, there, and everywhere. And they were kind of like our parents on the road, and they were probably in their early to mid 20s as well. And they were all very different. So like they, we knew if we wanted to get away with stuff to ask, like there were, we knew who was stricter and who was gonna like, let us sneak a pop.
Like the first 2 episodes, did they ever have like a challenge where you had to do more, and then in the episode they aired, they like scaled it back?
No.
Okay. Because I know Sam told me that their one episode they had to do something like 7 times, and in the episode they ADR'd Sabrina saying 3 times.
Funny. No, there was nothing like that. It was just there was no real opportunity to catch up there. Whereas like in other episodes, in a lot of episodes, I'm trying to think of like, for example, the maze in Kansas. I think there were opportunities to make up, and with the bull riding, it was at the very end.
Yeah.
And it was point based. So you had opportunities. That episode in particular, there was no opportunity.
No, and like the episode makes it look like the alligator place is huge when you said it wasn't like as big.
No, we literally ran around the thing twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not. And like even for the NASCAR, when we were, the clue required us to find something, and we're in this massive stadium space. So there's plenty of opportunity to go from first to dead last, or to figure it out, run. Like there was definitely more opportunities, I think, in that one. I don't think they expected us to do as poorly at the beginning of the alligator experience as we did. So there was not much they could do, and there was not enough there was really no opportunity. If they wanted to keep us, there was no opportunity to do so.
That was it.
I do think that they liked us enough that it was on a different episode. They could have,
yeah, mixed up some of the little times and stuff like that.
not even the time so much as just like the times a little bit, but also like, if it was something where it was based on a skill where they were scoring points and the points kind of give
They
you
could have
time.
gave you like an extra point or.
Yeah, because I think they would have kept us if they could.
Well, I know just from watching it, like the next, like Maddie and Sammy, and then, well, Paul and Lilith shouldn't have went that episode. Jaden and Paige should have, but that was massive lost time there. But
Yeah.
those like next 2 or 3 teams, like I think you were more entertaining than them. I'm sure they're great people, but like
great
from
people.
a TV standpoint,
I don't think production, with the exception of Paul and Lilith, I think there were some teams that production didn't really care about. Like, okay, whatever, they're gone, they're gone, they're gone. I got the sense, even at the time, that they really were expecting Carlise and I to stick around for at least half the show. And I think when the explosive drama was happening, I think they wanted even more because
that's going to continue.
It would have maybe continued, or they would have gotten they would have either gotten the storyline of drama, or they would have gotten this great storyline where we figure it out, we find our rhythm, make it work, and we're good to go. So I think production I think they would have wanted to keep us just for a television standpoint.
Especially with the team switch that happened in episode 6. Like that would have been interesting to see. Yeah, for sure.
We would have.
Yeah, like I thought they were going to maybe get that drama with Talon and Maddie, but they stuck because they knew they worked together well.
Yeah. They were like siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was only one person had to put their hand up to switch, right?
So Aaron put up his hand. JC wanted to stay, which I was surprised by that decision. They were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Isaiah and Landon both wanted to switch.
Yeah. And Graham, which Graham didn't like Tyler that whole time. They aired that, like him saying, like, I don't like my partner.
Legit, it was just funny. That must have happened later because I don't really remember any. I don't remember any like interpartner issues. He's a nice guy.
I thought Tyler did good, and he did great in the firefighter episode, but he got eliminated because of the shield.
Yeah. So the shield actually did come in handy.
Yes.
Oh yes, because Tyler and Landon did. They beat Isaiah, and then it was Aaron, Graham, Ben.
Yeah, the final 6 was Ben and Ruby, Talon and Maddie, and Graham and Aaron. They got to do individual, where they did the circus where Aaron dropped his clue card and went from first to last in like the last 2 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Which is great television.
Great television. Yeah. I was floored when I was a kid. Absolutely floored.
Yeah, Jaden and Paige went from first place to second last, fifth, and then out. Paige and I used to talk all the time on MSN.
MSN, yes.
Paige and I would talk all the time on MSN. Loved Paige. Wonder how she's doing.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show since it aired. I don't think I ever saw an episode more than once. Yeah. And so, no, I saw the premiere twice. I did watch the premiere twice. So, seeing your video was so nice because I was like, I didn't remember how it came across. And it's so nice to have like an adult look at it and see. And obviously you're an adult who understands television. You understand how this all works. So like, it was really nice to watch that. But I remember at the time, like there were sort of differing kind of opinions of me and who I was. And most of them were right. But they just didn't intend to be nice about it. But yeah, it was so lovely to watch your video and have you be so nice about it, and then you get it, and I don't know. I wish that I was able to enjoy it as much as I like. This has been really lovely, and I don't think I had that opportunity when I was younger to really have like an understanding of what was going on. And I think that I'm sure I represented some kids at that time.
Yeah, and that's fantastic to hear. I really enjoyed making those videos, and I'm hoping to eventually cover the whole series. I think that'd be really fun and just kind of bring to light the show, but also, like as you said, show that side of it that, that we view it as adults, and the television aspect and how they make these shows, and really a unique piece in time. And I'm glad that I'm sure out there was some kid just like you that was very happy to see you on TV.
There were a lot of kids that weren't like me that were probably very happy to see me go home. And I appreciate that too.
Living in their minds rent free.
Well, no, but yeah, living in their minds rent free. It's good to have people like form that opinion, I guess. And
it has to be strange though that was like a whole nother life ago, but because media exists forever, there's people like me now that are like perceiving you on TV.
Yeah, I mean, perceive.
Yeah, 15 years later.
Well, because as I said when we started, like this is not something it's not something I think about daily. Like I think about, like rent and my house and my law firm that I run. Like it's just not on my radar. And so to have it come back, it's just been really lovely to even like
talk it through, remember it. And
there's so many memories that have been that were so lovely and so positive that like I completely forgot about, like killing an alligator or making the exact same joke about Angelina Jolie with Sabrina Jalise, or being an unaccompanied. Like there's just so many memories that like kind of came back even in just thinking of like us having this call and being like, oh, I've got stories, and I'm sure I've like missed stuff that were just like silly and fun, because at the end of the day, like we were making a show, but we were 18 kids traveling around together. It's ridiculous.
Damn, that was captured.
It's ridiculous. They should have. Now, if they were really smart, they would have had cameras following us off.
Yeah. See the relationships off camera.
Yeah.
Drama, the crushes, the everything.
Crushes there were for sure. I think a few people kissed.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was them experimenting, and but nothing steamy. I don't hope not. But like, yeah, little dates, little whatever. That was for sure a thing. I don't think there was any like. I can't think of any real drama or beef. Like, I don't think I was very well liked. And to be fair, I wouldn't have liked me either. Like looking back, and I don't think it's. Yeah, I think I was arrogant. Like I think I was incredibly obnoxious. I think I said it in the interview, like I'll say whatever I want to say. And I think I didn't have a filter. And I think a level of unfilteredness is really healthy, but I also think that like I just didn't care.
But it's still unique because you have all these other personalities too that you were able to still make friends and have these memories, even if you weren't the most well liked out of all the kids there.
I wonder who was the most well liked.
From just watching it and seeing the reactions when he got eliminated, I'd have to say Paul, maybe?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Yes, without a doubt.
Yeah, because that was like people were flat out crying when he was going home.
And I mean, her too. I mean, she was also super well liked. Yes. Yeah, they were the actual like popular kids, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is there anyone from season 1 that you'd be really excited to talk to again?
Landon.
Yeah, I think we answered that earlier. That's awesome.
Honestly, Carlise, because I feel like no one, like we had that experience together, and I would love to not even like talk about the experience, but just like check in on her.
Yeah, hang out.
And like I'd love to, so but Landon is my automatic Landon.
Well, if any of them are listening to this little podcast, we'd love to get together, maybe have a Wonderland date. All of us or
I haven't been to Wonderland in so long. Let's all go to Wonderland.
Yes, I have a season pass. I can get you discount codes.
Excellent. Thank you.
And we'll talk again soon. This was really fun. See ya, Jesse.
See you later.
Thanks for listening, everyone, to my interview with Jesse from In Real Life Season 1. Wasn't that a fantastic time? I feel like I want to redo my videos because I've learned so much from the Season 1 experience. Sorry if the interview seemed like it cut short there at the end. There was probably actually an additional 25 minutes to 45 minutes of us just chatting about our personal lives and getting to know each other and form a really good friendship. So I thought I'll leave that out for all of you at home. But it was such a good time talking with Jesse. And Jesse, you're welcome to come back on my channel at any time. Any other contestants from season 1 that want to chat about their experience, or season 2 or season 3, just drop me a line. I'm very easy to find at RingoJake41, at Woodward TV. I'm here, there, and everywhere. Thanks again for taking this trip back in time with me, and enjoy the rest of your day in the real world.